Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kawaiibookwyrm Plays with Yarn podcast. This is episode 1, and I will be doing a short introduction of myself and how I began knitting, a finished object, my whips, and a little bit of addition to the hoard. Before I really get started, I apologize for the horrible lighting. I just have terrible lighting in my flat, and it's really cloudy out today, as it usually is in the UK. And so it's just something we'll have to deal with for now. Hopefully I can find a way to make it better, but until then, this is what we'll have to deal with. So introductions. My name is Hannah. I am a student doing a master's program at the University of Liverpool. And as you've probably guessed, I am not Scouse, nor am I British. I am from America, East Coast, but I've spent the last 5 years in Hawaii doing my undergraduate. And so if you hear weird words or I pronounce things weirdly, that is why. How I got into knitting was my mom taught me. I am from a family of knitters. My mom knits, my grandma knit, both my grandmas knit, and my great grandma knits. I actually still have something that my great grandma made for me. It's my baby blanket. And this goes everywhere with me. I will never get rid of it. My mom taught me sometime between the ages of 6 and 10. I can't remember exactly when it was. It was so long ago. But we bought one of those klutz kits that they have. And she taught me somewhere around that time. And it kind of stuck, kind of didn't. I would pick up a project every once in a while, do a couple rows, and then put it down and just kind of get bored with it. But my freshman year of my undergraduate degree, I decided that I needed to do something crafty that wasn't really messy and easy to store within a dorm room. And so I saw a bunch of amigurumis and really wanted to make them. So I taught myself how to crochet, all self-taught through YouTube and the internet. And then I decided that because I am a huge nerd and I really like Doctor Who, I was going to crochet the Doctor Who scarf, which is a 14-foot scarf if you don't know. And I was going to do that all in crochet. But it was coming out too stiff. It wasn't going to be a good scarf if I didn't crochet. So I resigned myself to it and said, all right, I'll do it in knitting. So I picked up the needles again. And ever since then, I've continuously knitted. And so that was about 5 years ago. And now I am doing a knitting podcast for your enjoyment and just to share some of my projects with people. I forgot my finished object. Hold on. Sorry about that, but I had just washed these and so they were hanging up and drying. But my finished object is a pair of socks. Oh, this is horrible lighting. I'm really sorry about that. But these are the speckled space socks designed by Amanda Stevens. And I did them toe up 2 at a time. And I used a fish lips kiss heel. And that was the first time I did that heel. And I do really like it. My only problem is I think I made the the cardboard foot, a bit too big. I didn't have anyone to help me make it, and so I did it by myself, and I think it came out a smidge too big. So where the heel line is, where this should be at the bottom of your heel, actually comes up a little bit on mine. Other than that, it's fine. I enjoyed doing the pattern up until I got to the leg, because if I can get it to focus, it has these 1x1 cables that go up the side and then around the back and down the back side. And here they have you crossing over on the needles, and doing it 2 at a time, magic loop method, was a little bit finagling. It was a lot of mental gymnastics, and so some of them didn't come out as well as they should have. But other than that, I really enjoyed the pattern. It's really pretty, fits nicely. The yarn is Woolen Vine Yarns Footsie Base in her Outlander colorway, and it's got just, I really wish I could get better lighting. Maybe if I move it a bit that way. There, that's a bit better. It's got these really gorgeous blues and reddy orange colors. It's inspired by the Outlander series, which I really love. I'm a nerd, as I said that. But that's the finished object that I have. I finished these a day before Halloween, and I wore them and then washed them today. That's why they're still wet. And now on to whips. I have three, can't count apparently, 3 projects that I'm working on right now. This one is it's going to be a pair of vanilla socks, because I'm a little bit tired of doing patterned socks and just wanted something easy. Again, it's Woolen Vine Yarns. Most of what I'm making is Woolen Vine Yarns because I went to her trunk show over the summer before I came to England, and so I have a lot from her. But this is her Brain Freeze colorway. And again, it's blues and purples, and it's really gorgeous. It's the Footsie Base, so which I believe is Blue Face Leicester and nylon, I think. I don't have the tag on me, so I can't tell you exactly, but yeah, so it's just toe up, magic loop, 2 at a time. I'll do the fish lips, kiss heel. I'm going to try to do it a little bit shorter so that the foot sits a bit better. I'm doing 52 stitches because I find that the toes on all my socks that I've made with 56 stitches are rather loose, and they work because they're mostly cabled socks that I've done, and so it tightens up a bit. But I think with just vanilla socks, I needed to go a little bit smaller because I do like my socks to be a bit tighter. I don't like when I get the loose and sad socks. That happens sometimes, and I have really tiny feet, so that's what I've gone with. May or may not work, I don't know, we'll find out. And I'm just gonna do as tall as I feel like it. I have a lot of yarn. I always have a lot of yarn left over because, again, I have small feet, so I can probably get knee-high, maybe, yeah, probably knee-high socks out of this, but I don't really want that tall of socks. I am, my other whip, one of my other whips is another pair of socks. This pair has been quite the adventure and takes quite a while for me to do. They are the Gimme Coffee socks. I don't remember. They're the Gimme Coffee socks by Karen Ada. And I think probably why these have been such a problem is originally I started them, I was going to do one at a time on 9-inch circulars, but I snapped my 9-inch circulars and switched to DPNs because I had the same brand and same size in DPNs, but my tension went to hell in a handbasket, essentially, with these on DPNs. And that was 3 years ago. I put them in timeout for a really, really long time because I just couldn't think about it. And also, they were only my second pair of socks that I was trying to do. And this pattern it's literally just the chart. It's a free pattern, so it's literally just the chart. It doesn't tell you what heels to use, what toes to use, and everything. So I was 100% guessing on how to do it. And so I tore it out over the summer and restarted doing 2 at a time because I find that I get second sock syndrome really badly, and 2 at a time toe up works really well for me. I've managed to finish 3 pairs since I started doing 2 at a time toe up instead of 1 at a time. And so the yarn that I am using, I bought in Japan while I was there on study abroad. It is Puppy brand, new 4-ply, and in the color 419. And it's 100% wool. Again, I bought these when I was new to doing socks, so maybe 100% wool with no nylon content is not the best, but I really want these socks, and so I'm just going to stick with doing it. And so I've got this brown and this teal aqua-y blue, and they're coming along. I've just started the bottom of the cup here. These are I'm using these as practice for doing Ellie of Skandir Knits Christmas mitten knit along that she's talking about doing. I hope it actually happens, and I can't wait for that. And those will also be practice for doing a colorwork yoke sweater, because I really want to do that, but I want to get some practice with colorwork in before I try to do a garment, especially because I've not actually done a garment, and I've only done like socks and shawls and scarves and hats. So if I tried to do a garment and colorwork with not being, it might be too much. But I'm also the kind of person that will make their first shawl the first time for beading, modifying a pattern, and doing lace work. I don't like to dip my toes in. I like to jump in fully clothed. But those are those socks. And they live in a plastic bag because I don't have knitting project bags. Um, so yeah. And then the next whip that I have is going to be a whip for a really, really long time because it's the Cozy Memories blanket. And this is all that I have. Yeah. I have more yarn for it from leftover projects in here. My British Museum bag, tote bag. I'll go through what I have. This is Paranormal. It's from Vine Yarns. It's on her Volca base, which is cashmere, merino, and nylon, I think. This is Goth Day Cake, and it's on the Blitzed base, also from Vines. This one is I Am No Bird from Vine Yarns on the Volca base. Funny story about this, I did not realize it was a Jane Eyre quote, reference until later on, and I felt like an idiot for that, but it is. This is Dead Calm. This is probably one of my favorite colors. I bought 4 of them because I love it so much. I really like blues, if you haven't figured that out. From the 3 projects that I've shown you now. Blue is one of my favorite colors, and especially the really dark, like, oceany blues. And then this one, this is also on the Blitz base. It's got a bit of gold stellina, so it's sparkly. This is her fairy hair colorway on Blitzed as well. I'm trying to alternate between Blitzed and non-Blitzed, but I have more Blitzed than I do non, or in her other one, so Footsie or Volca. And so that it just happened to come out that way. And I will be adding to it another Dead Calm, but this is in the Volca base, and so I'm okay with using, my ball is falling apart. I'm okay with using it again because it is a different color, or base, not color, but so that will go in. I have 2 Outlanders. One is Blitz and one is Footsie. This is the leftovers from those socks. As I said, I do get a lot of leftovers from socks. All the Blitz bases are leftovers from my Find Your Fade shawl, which I made completely out of Vine Yarns Blitzed base. And it's gorgeous. I'll show that in the next episode. I don't want to show too much of all the finished objects that I have, because then I won't really have a whole lot to talk about, because I don't have that many projects going at the moment, and so I might not have that many finished objects for each episode. So I think I'll do some of my past makes along with whatever new finished object I have. But yeah, so those 3, I have some of the old Enjoy the Silence on Blitzed. Kristen of Vines, the dyer behind Vine Yarns, has said that in some of her podcasts that the dyes that she used to use for Enjoy the Silence have been discontinued by the supplier, and so she's had to revamp it, and it comes out much more saturated now rather than this way. So this is the old one of Enjoy the Silence. And then something that's not Woolen Vine yarns. This is La, La Chicoterie, Alice in Wonderland, I think it was like 2011, yarn club, and this is the colorway Cheshire Cat. She either called it Mad Cat or Cheshire Cat. I can't remember. I got this out of a D-stash from someone in Hawaii, and so yeah, I made a pair of socks out of this. I think it's 100% BFL, if I remember correctly. And that will be going in. And that's all that I have now for what will be going into the Cozy Memories blanket, because that's all that I have used for other projects. I am going to the Nottingham Yarn Expo on the 11th, and so I hope to get a couple of mini skeins, or more than a couple of mini skeins, a handful of mini skeins to add to this, as well as some more hand-dyed yarn, because unfortunately here in Liverpool we have no local yarn store. The closest one is a train ride away in Ormskirk, I think it's called. So all that we have is Abacans and John Lewis, so just commercial yarn stores, which is not a problem, buying from a commercial yarn store, but I really like to get the really pretty speckled and self-striping yarns from hand dyers. I like to help support indie crafters in general, because I think that it's really important that we support the local community through that way. And I'm doing the Cozy Memories on a 3mm Addy needle. I don't remember if it's the Sock Rockets or the Turbos. I just know that it's Addy. And it's bent. How did that happen? Huh. That was weird. Okay. Interesting. It's not really weird. I don't know. For the coffee socks, I'm also using a 2.5mm Addy circular needles. It's a 32-inch. I think it's a 32-inch. I don't remember. I got rid of the packaging a while ago, so I don't remember at all. And for the vanilla socks, I am using Carbon's US 2.5mm in a 40-inch. I really like these. I like wood needles. I don't like metal needles, even though I have two and I'm using two of them. I much prefer wood, but for sock knitting, I tend to snap my wooden needles. That's what happened with the 9-inch circular. It was a wooden 9-inch circular, and I completely snapped it. And so I like the Carbons because it has the feel of wood, but it is strong, and so they don't snap easily, and they're nice and pointy. And so now I will talk about the additions to the hoard. Couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks ago, like a week and a half ago or something, I went to Abacans, which is a commercial haberdashery craft store here, and I picked up a couple of things. I picked up 2 West Yorkshire spinners, Air Valley Essential DK in a cream and a blue. This I am planning on using for the Christmas mittens that Ellie is going to release. I haven't decided if I want them. I want to do the blue because I really like blue and I wear a lot more blue, but I also would like them to be very, very festive. But I think this is what I have, and so this is what I'll go for. They're pretty. I like them. I picked up some pom-pom makers because I made a hat out of some of the leftover yarns that I had. And I wanted to put a pom-pom on it, but because it's fingering weight yarn, it's really hard to make. I was having a hard time making a pom-pom without one of the makers because I couldn't get it as like floofy as I wanted, and so I sucked it up and bought a pack, and these two came in it. I used this one, but yeah, I have them, so I can use them if I need them. And I found some T-pins, which I need for blocking my Oracle shawl because I finished it on time for the knit along, but I have yet to block and weave in the ends because I didn't have any pins and I don't have anything to block it on because it will take too long to block it on my bed and I need to sleep on my bed. So I need to borrow some foam blocking mats. But I've got the pins. I bought two because there's only 20 pins. About 20 pins in each case, and I think 20 is not going to be enough for that monster of a shawl. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Again, I'm going to apologize for the lighting. It's horrible. I wish it was better, but it is cloudy outside and I have really bad lighting in here. So I will try to figure out something for the next time or over the course of doing these episodes in order to have something that shows off the yarn a bit better. Otherwise, what's the point? Again, as I mentioned, I am going to Nottingham Yarn Expo. I'm really, really excited because that's going to be the first yarn festival I've gone to. And so I am really, I don't know how to say it. I'm excited, I'm nervous. I don't really know what to expect because most of what I've heard of yarn expos and yarn festivals is based off of Rhinebeck and Edinburgh, and I know that those two are massive, massive expos, and the smaller expos probably can't compare as well. But there is, sorry, weird hiccup. I'm excited because there's a couple of podcasters that are going that I watch that I really would like to meet. I am definitely planning on buying from Stranded Dye Works. Amy has some really, really pretty colorways that I am itching and dying to get. But I'm horrible with ordering things online. I'm too slow with the clicker. And I like to feel and see with my own eyes what the yarn looks like. So I'm excited to see her and her yarn there. I know the Corner of Craft is going to be there, and we are both Hannahs, so it'd be nice to meet her. I've only just recently started watching her videos, and so that'd be cool. But yeah, that's about it for today. Short video. Most of these videos are probably going to be short just because I am a relatively slow knitter and I don't always have stash or finished objects. But I will do my best to have stuff for you guys, and I hope you come back. So thank you and have a nice day. Bye.